Hello and welcome to the Prisoner Officer Podcast. This podcast is a place to talk about the forgotten cops in this country's jails, prisons, and correctional centers. A place for me to try to make sense of a career spent working inside the fence with some of the greatest people that nobody sees or recognizes for the important job they do. You know, the last few months have changed the way all of us see the world around us. The COVID-19 pandemic, the quarantine, the masks, the death of George Floyd, the anti-police backlash that followed, the riots, the looting. It's a lot of stress on everyone. Many of these subjects I can't go into because of my current position, but the one thing I can talk about is the stress we are all feeling. So this episode, I want to talk about this unprecedented level of toxic stress we are all living in, how we can be resilient and take care of each other as we make it through these challenges. Like most prison officers, I consider myself a master at dealing with stress. At least that is what I think. Ask my spouse or my friends and you may get a different answer. But nonetheless, in my mind, I think I can deal with most stress that life throws at me. After all, I've been practicing for 29 years. But this pandemic has caused stress and fears that none of us have dealt with ever before at this level. For prison officers, we've always lived with the fear of bringing something home to our family, but not from the grocery store. We always worry about our older loved ones, but this virus targets the elderly. COVID is different. I've been exposed to a lot of viruses over the years. It comes with the job. We understand PPE. We know how to don an N95 when you're transporting an inmate with possible TB to the hospital. We know to glove up when we respond to a suicide or a stabbing where an inmate could have HIV, hepatitis C, or any one of a list of other blood-borne pathogens. We're used to this at work. We don't touch our hands to our mouth. We wash our hands often. But at the end of the day, we leave this environment where everything we touch is unclean and contaminated. Now, work may be the cleanest place to be besides your house. Now, we have to wear PPE at Walmart, on the subway, when you get a haircut, or even when you go to the grocery store. It seems at times there is no safe place anymore. At least to me, it seems that work has come home with me to a level I've never dealt with before. There is no break, not from COVID, not from the relentless news, not from the stress, not from the fear. On top of this, I can't help but notice how invisible prison staff are once again. The health of the inmates has had lots of unlimited news coverage, but the health of the staff who are still working 24/7 in one of the most stressful environments imaginable is barely mentioned, if at all. And deservedly, signs line the streets for nurses and doctors, delivery drivers, grocery store clerks, you name it. But with the exception of a few people, prison staff working in this sustained crisis are forgotten. So how do we meet this new challenge? Well, like so much of our job, we will have to rely on each other. Let's discuss the things we can do to help our resilience. First, remember, you're not alone. There are thousands and thousands of people just like you who are walking into prison for work each day. Many work with you. So start there and take the time to communicate. Take the time to talk. You need it, and the staff next to you need it. Take the time to ask sincerely, how are you? Most importantly, take time to listen to their answer. Sometimes that's the key. Our profession has already had too many suicides, and prevention starts with just talking. Remember, we're masters at hiding our emotions, and only by talking with each other will we discover if someone's truly hurting. If you're worried about a friend or a loved one, or thinking about suicide, or would just like to talk and get some emotional support, in the U.S., you can call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-TALK, or 1-800-273-8255. Don't miss this chance to get help or help someone else who needs it. It is so important that we watch out for each other. This is also a good time to remember to communicate with the inmate population. They have their own fears and stresses. Change in prison causes tension, and keeping inmates informed of those many changes that's caused by this response to COVID will keep your housing units running smoother. It will make your day less stressful. Second, if you're in a leadership position right now, you need to ensure your staff feels safe and valued more than ever. Although it may feel like it, this is not the time to slow down or to start taking shortcuts in security procedures. This is a time for staff to be given meaningful work. They don't need the stress of worrying about the effects of shortcut. Is security being compromised? They need to know that some things are not changing in their life. Some things are not changing where they work. With all the changes at home, kids out of school, family members teleworking, often the routine of work can be comforting for staff. Although it may seem strange to say this about prison work, but going to work right now may be when they feel like life is the most normal. Next, work on your physical resilience. Yes, you may have to modify your exercise, but don't stop. Your body needs the stress relief. Eat healthy. Not only does your body need healthy nutrition to fight off disease, it needs that nutrition to fight off stress. Practice meditation, or just find some quiet time to read a book or relax in a bath or go fishing. Get some good sleep. Black out the windows. Stay on a schedule, even if it is a midnight shift schedule. Stay on a schedule. And probably one of the most important things right now is set a limit on your media consumption, including social media, local or national news. It's fine to check in on your friends with Facebook, but you don't have to read every comment. We need to stay informed, but absorbing that barrage of negativity hour after hour will physically and mentally drain you. Finally, work on your emotional resilience. Emotional resilience refers to a person's ability to adapt to stress. Resilient people are able to roll with the punches. Resilient people rely on humor and laughter to rid yourself of bad feelings, to give you a break from the stress. Although others may look to our dark humor as disgusting or rude, but our dark humor has long been shown as therapeutic, and studies demonstrate that when facing stressful situations, humor is more effective as a coping strategy than being serious. Resilient people also find perspective in their life. Resilient people use positive self-talk to find the good in every situation. They see obstacles as challenges. They are optimists who find support among friends and family and provide that same support to others in need. Just like every other day working in prison, there will be ups and downs, and correction professionals have learned to be some of the most resilient people alive because of this. We know how to walk back in from a tough day and start new. To know that we often have the power to determine how today will play out. That our words have meaning and we can use them to build up each other and de-escalate or empower those in our charge. During this unique time, I want to tell each of you that you are appreciated. I thank you for keeping my family, my friends, and my community safe. The job you do is important. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoy these podcasts, the best way to support the Prison Officer Podcast is to share these episodes with your friends on social media. And before you leave, let me invite you to visit www.theprisonofficer.com, where you can find some of my suggestions for the best correctional books. I've created a section there to highlight some of my favorites, as well as some of the books suggested to me by my guests and my mentors. If you haven't already, check out the Prisoner Officer Podcast on Facebook and click that little follow button, or leave us a message, or better yet, leave us a review. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcast, Google, or Spotify, click the subscribe button. Till next time, I'm Mike Cantrell. Watch your back, and please take care of each other out there behind those walls.